What is up, home workout and bodyweight exercise fans? In today's video, I'll be starting my new series of life success videos, and in this series, I'll be talking about all of basically the rest of the things that surround a fitness lifestyle, everything in terms of business, success goals, relationships, mm, you know, basically everything that is not related to fitness, in terms of diet and exercising. Because if your lifestyle is pretty messed up, if you, for example, if your job is killing you emotionally, mentally, physically, if your relationship is just making you, feel depressed the whole day, if all these external factors, if they're not balanced, they can have a big negative influence on your fitness lifestyle, on your bodyweight exercise, home workout lifestyle, on your diet. So these are things I want to talk about because I know that they're so important. And I've been struggling with all these topics myself the last 3 years. Just another human after all. So, of course, I've been going through all of these, and because I've been trying to, be as successful as possible with my fitness goals, I learned that I have to tackle the rest of these things in the best way possible. So I want to talk a little bit about from my experience, from all the books I've studied the last years, from my practical experience. I would like to share some insights on things, I've gained knowledge, I've found solutions or alternatives. And, before I do this, before I start giving you like my first advice tips, I would like to share with you a little bit my story, the last 3 years, what I've been doing other than, these videos, this project. So when I got out of bed, out of 5 years of depression, when I, basically started looking for a job like, every other person. When I generally started to try to get back on my feet or on my foot, it wasn't that easy. So that's when I started doing also homemade muscle, which was a way for me to, use this kind of bad experience that happened to me for something good, to motivate people. And, that also helped me, that also made me feel better, gave my life a little bit of a purpose. And, at that point, I was pretty financially broke, like I really didn't have any money. I couldn't afford a place of my own. I lived with family for so long. And, as an introvert, I know that there are a lot of introverts in here. If you don't have your own space, it's really difficult for you to feel okay, because we need like our personal space to charge emotionally, mentally, for our soul to like kind of ground itself. And of course, not just introverts, everybody. So when I started to try to figure out what I was going to do with my life at that point, I realized I had to find a job. So for example, I had a laptop that could barely edit the videos I was doing. So I released the first edition of my All You Need Is a Pull-Up Bar book, and did it in a kind of a crowdfunding campaign. And I used the money I made out of that, which was like 700 euros or dollars, to buy a new laptop that could edit videos. And after that, I realized that I also have to get a real life job, because I needed a way to support myself. So getting back on my foot wasn't that easy, because I had 6 years of no job experience. I basically, my social skills, things like all that, were pretty messed up, because, I closed myself for 6 years. I just closed myself in rooms, I didn't socialize. I kind of became a little bit of a caveman. And, everything that required human interaction for me was so much more difficult. And imagine, I was already an introvert. So, all this time alone made things so much worse. Because, I would kind of push friends away as well during those dark times. I didn't want to spread like all my negative energy. And, the YouTube channel was also a way for me to challenge myself, because doing these videos at first was the most uncomfortable thing I could do to myself, you know. Like the first 6 months, I didn't even share these things with my friends, family, with anyone, because it just felt so uncomfortable, you know, like putting myself in the spotlight. And I mean, if you see my first videos, you know, I could barely talk to the camera. And, you know, I was going through a lot of challenges while doing this. Of course, I had a lot of things that were supporting me. You know, I was doing my healthy lifestyle, I was doing my meditation, all these things, you know, helped me build up a person that nowadays, you know, is pretty confident. I'm so much more social. You know, I just feel really comfortable in my skin with most of the things I do. I'm so much more comfortable on camera. I'm even more comfortable with talking with people outside of, you know, the camera. For example, yesterday I gave this like little kind of a lecture to medical school students that were doing like an introductory course in people with amputated limbs. You know, and I'm surprised by how comfortable I'm in my skin nowadays, just talking in public, you know, and that's something that always terrified me. And in a way, this accident for me has been a transformational experience. So after all that, you know, there were also a lot of difficult and challenging things, you know, things I wasn't really happy about that, you know, kind of started to pull me down again a little bit at times. So, because I had to find a job, for example, at first, you know, the economy in Europe was pretty bad, still is, I guess. And, you know, finding a job wasn't that easy. I started working in this basement kitchen in Amsterdam, standing 6 hours a day, which was extremely painful for my leg. You know, it was so painful that on the way back with the train, I would just curl up in a seat with the train, just hug my leg, you know, and kind of swing back and forward to kind of control the pain, you know, and like try not to tear from the pain I was feeling, because, you know, I had like wounds and blisters and shit like that. And having a stump, that's pretty problematic, because, you know, not all amputees have like cool healthy stumps. They can like they can wear prostheses and, you know, just walk all day and not feel any pain. You know, I had a huge adaptation phase, and my leg was just extremely painful so much often. So, you know, I went through that phase. I realized that doing this job wasn't realistic. So then I started, for example, working in an office that wasn't that demanding physically, of course, but it was pretty demanding emotionally, because I had to work on average like 10 hours a day. I was paid like pennies, because, you know, I had to kind of prove myself at first. So I wasn't paid anything. I was just barely being able to make my money for my traveling expenses. I had to travel every day for 3 or 3.5 hours with the train. Again, feeling really uncomfortable, because, you know, I couldn't take off my prosthesis to relieve my leg. So again, a lot of leg pain. And, you know, then my leg pain got worse because I had some other issues, a lot of nerve issues, a lot of things like infections. So, you know, I was dealing with all that, and I was working at the same time at this office. So, you know, every day was extremely painful, and, you know, I had to be kind of wear like also a cool face at work. And that was just like a whole big drama. At some point, I quit Homemade Muscle for about 6 months. I didn't really do any videos, and if I did any videos, I was like this really low energy, negative energy guy probably. And that's when I realized, you know, that this is not something that works. I have to find a job that, you know, I can work from home and, you know, make my money that way. That was the only healthy approach for my leg as well. And I realized that I just have to figure out how to make this project, Homemade Muscle, profitable. So the way I went about it is that I thought, you know, that I would like to give the most value possible to all my fans, and, you know, make as less money as possible from the people that are really supporting this project, while, you know, making also enough money to support myself and to do a better job and to invest this money back to this project, do more videos, get better equipment, get like a space of my own where I can be more comfortable to do more videos, you know, better videos. So the way I approached that is, you know, I started studying a lot about business, about marketing, about all these things. And, you know, I know that marketing has like a negative correlation with some people, negative feeling, but marketing for me has made me a better person, because, you know, I see marketing as that it has both the dark side and the bright side. So the bright side, basically, let's start with the negative, the dark side. The dark side is just learning to manipulate people, to play with basic human needs, emotions, and things like that, you know? The bright side, though, of marketing, which does exist, which is the side I like, I've been studying the last years, is learning to provide value to people. You know, how can you be as the most helpful you can be to people, and, you know, in return, just get a little fraction of the value you give. So a quote I like is that if you help enough people get what they want, you can get what you want. So the way I went with this was, you know, that I started doing the Kindle book releases, which I enjoy a lot because writing books is something I really like. Took me some time to learn to do it properly. You know, some of my first releases had a lot of grammar errors and things like that because I couldn't afford editors. So the way I went with that was that, you know, I always released my Kindle books for free the first 5 days to you guys, to the community in here. And, you know, because you just read those books and, you know, supported me, if you enjoyed them, you wrote a good review, which for me was amazing. And, you know, that way I could also sell the books to the rest of the public out there, you know. So my community, my people got my things for free. People around it, you know, because you helped me push this book, people around it bought it themselves. And, you know, slowly I started being able to make a living out of this. You know, it took me 3.5 years because I've been doing this successfully for the last 4 months or something. It's not that long. So, you know, things like that, learning to provide value, learning to help people, learning to do what you love to do better, was for me the bright side of marketing that helped me make this project, you know, successful. So nowadays, it's not like I'm rich, but, you know, I can have a place of my own. I can eat decent food, you know, once a week I can go have fun with friends outside, you know, have a few drinks or, you know, some food or whatever without being stressed about money. And, you know, other than that, that's all I do. I don't spend money on clothes. I don't give a damn about that. I don't have a car. I don't care about having a car. I prefer walking more. You know, and it's I guess it's a simple lifestyle, but it's really enough for me, because as long as I can do this project in a good way, in a professional way as possible, I'm still improving things. I can be happy. So this was my journey. You know, it wasn't easy. You know, I had some ups, I had some downs. Being 23 years old before my accident, you know, and living in my own place, and, you know, starting to get, I was working aside with my studies and all that. Then I had to go through like a dip of depression, of health issues, and, you know, living with family at age 27, which wasn't great, you know, and now again, I went through all these things and I'm at a better place again. So that's my story. I thought it would be important for you to understand what's happening more with me, with my life. Relationships is another thing that I've been really working on the last 2 years. I've realized, you know, with most things I've realized the last 3 years that I'm improving things in my life, is that the model we have on most things in life, on, you know, being happy, doing things successfully, the model we have, the classic model that society gives us most of the times, is pretty wrong. So these are things I want to talk about. This is already a 15 minute video. I'll be sharing more of these things next week. I'll be giving you more practical tips and ideas, you know, things we can all, ideas basically we can all play with. And, you know, I'm not saying that I have best solution for everybody, but I want to share these things because, you know, they've helped me so much. So next week I'll be doing a more practical video instead of just talking about my own ass. I'll be sharing more things helpful for you. I just thought, you know, it would be good that you get the base from where I'm coming, you know, my past, my story. You know, I've done crappy jobs, I've done more decent jobs in my life. I've dealt with a lot of physical pain, emotional pain, stress, and you know, there are a lot of ups and downs always. It's not like that I'm in a super zen mode the whole year. For example, the previous months after finishing the superhero home workout, I kinda broke down a little bit because I was doing so many things on my own. The person I had helping me with this project stopped, so I had to tackle everything by myself again. Generally a lot of other issues I'll be talking later on. So, you know, the last months I had like a little breakdown. I kind of crashed for 2 weeks, like emotionally. My brain wasn't working. Some of you noticed it, told me that my videos had a weird energy. I guess that was like 3 weeks ago or something. Thank you for your emails. Some people sent me an email, told me, you know, what's wrong, what's up. Gave me some, like a little bro, digital high five or pat on the back, which was awesome. Thank you so much for that. So these are the things I wanted to share a little bit in this video. Let me know what you think. Leave some comments below. Share your ideas. Share your stories, you know. Tell me what's the thing that's been making you struggle the most the last years of your life. How do you tackle with these kinds of things that I mentioned in the video? So some of you told me also that the sound quality is a little bit weird in this room. It's a little bit too echoey. I'm gonna edit the sound in this video. Tell me if it's better. And I'm gonna also pretty soon I'll be getting some people to help me set up this space, make it more recording friendly. So that was all for today. Out next time. Keep on training.